and in there you will get this Spring Tool Suite executable, right? That's what you need to start. So when you start for the first time, it will ask you for the workspace. What workspace do you want to use? You can supply the workspace information. Ideally, what is workspace? Workspace is the folder where all your projects will be created and managed, ideally, where all your projects and project artifacts will be created, right? So you can have different workspace for different projects, right? So whatever workspace I may have worked with till now are all available over here, right? So for this one, I will create a new workspace, and it is being created inside my C users username folder, right? So workspace, I will make it, it is April, right? April 2020 Spring Boot, right? So that is going to be my workspace. Okay, now you can always check this checkbox to set the option that whether this workspace selection window should open every time or not. If I keep it checked, then it will open only for the first time, that is now. And then when you open the Spring Tool Suite again, it will not open this window. It will not ask you for the workspace. But I generally keep it unchecked so that I have a control of what workspace I'm trying to open, right? I can always open some recent workspaces if I want. So I will keep it unchecked. You can keep it checked or unchecked depending on your choice, right? And launch. So it will open Spring Tool Suite in the new workspace. Just wait for a while and it will open. Just a minute. Here it is. You can see our default Spring Tool Suite workspace is open, right? So this is what we have. So now we can create a first project. As I said, if you are on the open internet, then everything will just work for you. The way I'm going to do it right now, in the same way it will just work for you. But if you are on the closed internet or the controlled internet, that is you are behind the proxy, then you will need to configure, replace the embedded Maven with our Maven binary which we just downloaded, right? And then configure the proxy in there. Once you are done with that, only then you will be able to create a Hello World project. So let's create a Spring Starter project, right? So I will be creating a Spring Starter project. You can either click on this or I can click on File, New, Spring Starter project. So there are multiple ways in which you can create a Spring Boot project. So ideally Spring Starter project, when I click on this, it will start a wizard, that is steps, series of steps using which I can create a Spring Boot project, right? So I'm initializing that step. So ideally this screen which is going to open will work only if you are on the internet, right? So I want to create, let's say, user one Spring Boot, right? That's what I want to create. I want to use Apache Maven as my build tool, right? Java version I want to use is 8. Packaging will be jar or var. You can select anything of your choice. Language I want to use is Java. I don't want to use the Kotlin and Groovy. That's the option. That option is also there, but I want to use Java. Everything else you can keep it by default, whatever it is, right? So whatever the artifact name and description, whatever it is. Click on next. Okay. Spring Boot version is going to be 2.2.6. You can select any version from here, but ideally what is recommended is non-snapshot version. Snapshot means what? They are still in the development. They are not yet fully developed, like kind of, this is just a snapshot version. So by default, whatever be this Spring Tool Suite this wizard will show you will be the most stable one, right? So 2.2.6. Okay. And let me add one dependency called web. that is Spring Boot Starter Web. So I searched from here and it auto filtered, right? So if I do not want to search over here, if I do not want to type anything over here, then it should be inside web. Inside web, I have this Spring Web, right? That's what I want. It will add a dependency called Spring Boot Starter Web. Just a minute, right? So I have this HTTPS. It's HTTPS URL. It is not a HTTP URL. And I have got the starter.zip. And can you scroll down and see? Java version is 1.8, language is Java, boot version is 2.2.6 release. Can you see? This is what we selected in the previous steps, right? Dependencies is web and all that stuff. Let's click on finish. Now, whatever it is going to do, it is going to use internet, right? So it is creating the Maven project and it is downloading the dependencies for me. Just a minute. If I am not connected to internet as of now, then dependencies will not be downloaded and Spring Boot Hello World will not be created, right? So it is setting it up. It is complete, only 26%. Let it finish till 100%. Okay, looks like it is finished. So I can go and run it. So if you are on the open internet, you can also do this step with me. So if you go and take a look at pom.xml, the file which Maven will follow or Maven will read to set up dependency. Ideally, it is this pom.xml which Maven will work with or Maven will read so as to get the dependencies. Can you see this dependency, which is Spring Boot Starter Web? That is the one which we selected in the wizard, right? So let us quickly go. Let's not talk about all this. Let us quickly go and deploy the project locally. Let us test it. So I will right click the project, click on run as, and what? Spring Boot app, right? That's what I want. Spring Boot app. I want to run it as a Spring Boot app. Let us see if it goes through. It will open the console window. Can you see this? The console window is open and can you see Tomcat started on port 8080. Spring toolsheet, it comes with the Tomcat, embedded Tomcat and the embedded Apache Maven. Fine, so it is running at port 8080. Let us go and check it out. So I will go to the browser window and say what? Localhost. What was the port number? 8080, right? Here it is. Boom. We got this white label error page. That means that everything is working fine. This browser is sending a GET request to localhost 8080, and since nothing is configured in there, that's the reason I'm getting this white label error page. But if we are getting this white label error page, means what? Everything is just working fine. Spring Boot environment is working fine. Everything is on track. I just need to configure some. I need to just configure some, some route, something which is responsible to handle this route request and return some message, and that's it. You want to do that? I can do that for you right now in next few minutes. So if you kind of go and take a look, I have not yet explained you what all these files are doing, what this application.java is doing and all that stuff, right? I have not yet explained that to you. In application.java we have got this annotation which is called @spring boot application, and we have something called spring application.run. I have not explained you all this as of now. I'll be explaining it to you only once we are finally starting with the normal hands-on session, right? As of now, I'm just focusing on Hello World. So this was our Hello World part 1. So let us do the Hello World part 2, wherein we get some message, some basic message over here for whatever REST endpoint I call, right? Whatever be the request, whatever request I make to certain REST endpoint, right? So I can go back to the code. So inside the very same package, that is com example java, com.example.demo, I can right click and create a new class. Let me call it, let's say, hello world rest So I will annotate it with the annotation called @REST controller. One more tip, guys, that whatever annotations you use, always allow Spring Tool Suite to give you the content assist, right? Allow to assist you with the content, or if I can say, assist you with the intelligence, right? Do not type the way it is. No, not a good idea. Allow Spring Tool Suite to give you to work, to do the intelligence for you, that will help you avoid the typo, right? So I have annotated this class with REST controller, and now let me create a method, a public method. It is going to return the string. Let's say, and let me call it welcome, right? Nothing. And what it will do, it is going to return a string, right? So I can say welcome from Spring Boot. Make sense? Maybe I can say 2.2.6, and here it goes, a semicolon. So I have this method, so I'm going to use one more annotation over here. I can call it request mapping. For what? For the root REST endpoint. It should go in double quotes, sorry, not in single quotes, double quotes. Make sense? Now see, the project is already deployed at localhost 8080. Will it work? So what I am trying to do is, whenever I call this root path, that is this is the root path, right? Whenever I call this, what I should, what is the method which should execute is this string, and it should return this string. So ideally I should get this string as output over here rather than this white label error page, right? So let us see if it works. It's not working. Why? Because I have not yet rebuilt the project. So what I will do is, because this is the old version, this is the old deployment, I will either stop it and then right click and run it again, number one. But for that I need to stop it, right? Stop it first and then right click and run it, or else what it will say, it will say port 8080 is blocked. Hold on, let me show you. I am not stopping the old instance. I will try to right click and start it again, right? See what happens. See what happened. It says port 8080 was already in use. Ideally the very same project was only using port 8080, right? So ideally what we should be doing, either I can stop it and then launch it again, or I can use this button to relaunch the project. So what it will do, it will stop it first and then relaunch it. So I will relaunch it, this one, right? Relaunch. So you can see it is relaunching. So at port 8080, if you go to the browser and kind of reload this page now, see, you got it. Welcome from Spring Boot 2.2.6, isn't it? Now if I make some changes to this code, and save it, and again go back here and load it, it won't work, right? Why? You will not get that updated output. Why? Because you will need to relaunch it again. That is, stop it and launch it again. Got it? So if you kind of go and take a look now, ठीक है, आ गया again. So that was in short an introduction to the hello world of Spring Boot, wherein we have created hello world with Spring Tool Suite. And I will quickly go ahead and commit whatever I have done till now on the GitHub repo, so that in case you also want to kind of go and create a hello world in your machine, you can go ahead and do it. So the only file you will need to create is this. Apart from that, everything else would be there created as a part of startup wizard, right? So if you kind of go and file new, if you go and say file new Spring Starter project, you will get everything. The only condition being you should be on the open internet. So if you're on the open internet and you are doing this Spring Starter project, you just need to create this new class inside the same package inside com example demo, and you will get the very same code snippet as to what I have, right? So hold on, let me commit this code snippet to the GitHub repo. Every day I will keep on committing to the specific branch and also keep on merging the same branch to the master branch. So you can see I've got this day 01 branch and I've got one master branch, right? So as of now I am on day 01 branch. So I can say git push hyphen u origin. It's already committed. See, in the day 01 branch, it's already there.